All right. What's up, everybody? So we got some serious stories to talk about, and then some more MMA gossip, etc. Connor finding ways to stay in the headlines, even though he dropped out of this fight at 303, which is a skill that I do not lack respect for, but he's getting very nasty in the way that he's doing it. And we'll go through that. But I wanted to talk about this thing that's going on in Dagestan. Happened in like late last night, at least is when I saw it in Dagestan. It's a terrible story, man. Like a really, really terrible story. I'll let some people get on, but I had literally just I know, dude, I'm in Mexico, man. I know I'm late. I'm in Puerto Vallarta. It's our last day, but we're going to be traveling all day tomorrow. So tomorrow I won't be able to get anything up. Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. I'm going to crank content. I have a lot of topics. I'm excited to get home. I always like double when I'm on vacation. It's like, yay, vacation. In the back of my head, I'm like, God, I got to work, man. I got to work. I don't like letting things sit idle. I really don't. It really bothers me. But I appreciate you guys jumping on when I can go live. I actually tried to pre-record a bunch of videos this week, but some of them ended up kind of out of date. Another one was about Trump on Impulsive, and I was just looking at how my videos have done whenever I talk about him, and they just get murked. And so I made that one members only. It's a great video, but I just but oh, this is a Dagestan tragedy, dude. This is the if you guys haven't heard about it, this is the deadliest attack in the region in 14 years. It's super serious, dude. You're talking 66 people dead or injured. 66. Think about 66 people. So yeah, there's a video here. I don't think I could show this video, but they actually caught some of it on video. It was let me see exactly what the group was. But anyway, we're gonna talk about this story. It's 20 dead and another like 42 that were shot and injured. And the way that, man, like because they went after an Orthodox Jewish temple, and then some Orthodox like Christian church, and man, the way they killed that priest is crazy, man. Like really nuts, man. Like you have to have hate in your heart to do someone like a representative of God of that, like of a faith, to do them in like that is I don't know what to say about it. But and then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna show you guys the latest on Conor, because he went back and forth with some guys and then he got real nasty about one of his rivals in a way that I'm like, he just does not give a single solitary fuck. And you could just take that for what it is, dude. Take that for what it is. And then I just saw this just as I was getting on, and I was looking up the Dagestan thing, and I saw this story. You know, it's on Young and Faded. I did some videos with Young and Faded like a couple months ago, and everybody's like, this is fake news. But like, they're speaking Russian and then someone is translating it. So I'm like, I don't speak fucking Russian. You know what I mean? I don't speak Russian. How the hell would I know if that's what they're saying or not? You know what I mean? But when Javier Mendez was like, yeah, I was talking about that 2 years ago. I stopped using these guys as a source. But so someone will back out and Poetan will headline anyway. To what? Which one? Oh, for the Sphere. Listen. No, I think this is likely Sugar and Marab at the Sphere. Or they might be targeting 307. I can't remember. But either way, I don't know, dude. Like Dana and them said that they're not going to put Conor and Chandler at the Sphere, but I don't know if I believe that or not. You know, I don't know what to think about that, because matter of fact, I don't believe that, actually. Not that I'm saying for sure that they're going to, but what I can say is that in the event that they were planning to push Chandler and Conor to the Sphere, 100% they would not announce that now. You know, like they definitely would not announce that now. for the exact same reason that they were mum about the fact that Conor was out until they had the, until they had that lockdown. But even more relevant example is how they didn't announce the Conor and Chandler fight for 303 until after UFC 300. Okay. So I know for a 100% fact from the mouth of one of the fighters, but I don't know Conor, that Chandler and Conor knew that they were International Fight Week months before they announced it. Like they knew for months. So the entire time that everyone was breaking Chandler's balls, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna wait forever, Chandler? It's pathetic. You're waiting." And he already had a signed bout agreement for UFC 303, and they didn't announce it. And the reason that they didn't do that, I would imagine, is because they didn't want to take away from UFC 300, which is this enormous event. They want to, they want to sell it out. They want as many people to go as possible, whatever. I know the 303 is already sold out. It's International Fight Week, but it's still bad form. If you bought tickets there and then it's like, never mind, Conor's actually, you just paid 10 grand for 2 tickets or whatever, if you're sitting close. And it's like, never mind, Conor's actually going to be headlining the once in a lifetime show at the Sphere in 2-3 months. But, sorry, sorry about that. I don't know. I mean, I would do the exact same thing if I was them. They're promoters, dude. That's their job. It's not like the UFC is not the NFL in terms of the rules of engagement. If Alex Pereira wins, we got to get John Jones versus Alex next year at heavyweight. Would be epic. Keep up the videos. Thank you, dude. I appreciate you, Emmanuel. Emmanuel's a fighter too. You guys look him up, dog. Knocking fools out. Appreciate the super chat, man. And Manslet, thank you for the super chat too. Pena versus Pennington Sphere, Maine. Yeah, right. No fucking way. There's no way that is the case. There's no fucking way. What's up, Zach? Met me at oh yeah, I remember, dude. I remember. I couldn't find my fucking tickets, right? Like you guys are the ones I was talking to when it was the day of 300 and I was like, and I realized I hadn't accepted my tickets. I was like, oh yeah, fucking got these tickets for $5,000 or whatever. And then I was like, oh shit. I couldn't find them, dude. I had to like go in ticket. I was tripping. Anyway, I assume that's, yeah. That's what I thought, dude. Yeah, it was a pleasure meeting you. It was a great fucking show, right? But yeah, I mean, like I said, the rules of engagement are very, very different. Because they have to go show by show strategically. Like the NFL, the NFL and all of them are like, they're an organization that owes, kind of instant information to the fans. I feel like NBA too. It's like, if that this thing is postponed here, that this, you have to just tell everybody. But the fight business is different. You're putting on event after event after event. If you announce that Conor and Chandler in the Sphere, if they actually were, which I think is highly probable, because they don't have a headliner for it. And it's a once in a lifetime show, assuming that Conor's toe, I mean, I've seen pictures of hits. Like I talked to someone very credible who, when the picture first came out of Conor's toe, I was like, what do you think? And they're like, I would feel a lot more confident it was real if his face was in the picture. And I was like, that's a good point. But then, the next, I don't know, 6-7 hours, Conor did have a picture of him with his toe. You don't know when it's from, though. You don't know for sure that that's from right now. But it seems, the toe thing seems probably likely that's what's going on. But yeah, I mean, if it is a toe, there's no mystery around how long that's going to take to heal. And then maybe this weird story that came out yesterday about no. We're not saying for sure that it's going to be the Sphere. We're saying, like, Dana and them are saying that it's not going to be the Sphere. And I'm saying if it were going to be the Sphere, they would say that anyway. I think personally. But like the story that came out yesterday about Conor saying that he did a stem cell treatment on his toe and it made it worse. Have you guys, I'm serious, chat, have any of you guys ever heard of someone doing a stem cell treatment which made an injury worse? I've never heard of that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but personally, I've never heard that before. Not one time. I asked 3 other guys, 3 other like industry people, very experienced, and all of them were like, no, You know, no one's like directly being like, oh, it's bullshit, but it's like, oh, really? You have? Tell me about it, dude. Like, yeah, Phil, if you comment again, can cause bone growth. But dude, if it just happened, like he's saying, you know, like it supposedly, Conor said it was a day before the press conference, right? So like, it was a day before the press conference. So however many weeks ago that was, he says he went and got stem cells after that. And then now he's saying that it made it worse. Bone growth can't be the reason, at least this time. I'm not saying that it can't happen. I'm just saying like, there wouldn't be enough time for bone growth to be the issue on Conor's toe. He just said it made the pain worse. I don't know. Oh, you heard it in a knee, not a toe. Okay, got it. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to compare my fucking training regimen to Conor's, but I folded my pinky literally. It like, you know, pinky like this it was this on my foot. Like, you know, it's normally this way. It was this. It was directly 90 degrees from how it normally is, completely knocked out of the socket. I had never had anything like that happen before. So I showed some of my training partners and they were like, just pop it back in. And I was like, just pop it back in. And they're like, yeah, they're like, just push it. And so I went on the side and I pushed it and it just went back into the socket. And so, I mean, it fucking hurt, obviously, but I just was like, whatever. And I just taped my pinky toe to my toe that was right next to it and just kept training. I mean, I didn't even take a day off. I was probably taking, it was like, I don't really remember exactly how I did, but I never took a day off at all. And also this is jiu-jitsu, not striking. So it's not exactly the same, but I didn't feel like it hindered me like very much at all. And the moral is, well, the end of the story is that 2 months after I had hurt my toe like that, it was literally like purple and black still, like 2 months after. And so Gabrielle was like, dude, you need to go get that looked at. That's like, this could be like a bone infection or something. Like it should not look like that. So I went to the doctor and they x-rayed it and they're like, yeah, dude, this thing was broken in 2 places. I was like, really? They're like, yeah, look here and here. And they're like, why it's purple and red actually is because you have like you have extra calcium in those 2 places because it healed weird or whatever. And they're like, but I don't think you need antibiotics. I think it'll just go away. I can't remember if I had to take antibiotics. Either way, it just cleared up on its own. Maybe with antibiotics. I can't remember. But either way, for 2 months, I had a toe that was broken. It didn't look as bad as Conor's, in fairness. His looked fucked up. But I don't know. I don't know. Is there a spider behind me? Probably. Hamzat has only fought twice in 2 years, right? Yeah. So bizarre. He used to fight 2 times a week. You know? You jacked your pinky toe. It took away my balance for a few weeks. I could sit down. Could not. I assume that's couldn't sit down on my punches. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That is fair. Well, let me talk about this since I made it the headline. Let me talk about this Dagestan thing real quick here. So basically, couldn't sit down on your punches. I knew what you meant. There are some guys in the UFC you should teach what sit down on their punches means. So this story. So I don't, if I say like an industry person sent me a thing, I mean like someone that everyone would know that I don't want to say their name for, reasons. But I think this was 3 or 4 days ago. An industry person sent me this video that they pulled from Instagram and then connecting to YouTube, which was about certain UFC fighters who had made some comments in, like they were translated. And the guy did a really kind of good job explaining that it's like, this is supporting some like ISIS level shit. And I looked at it and it was very, it's convincing, but I don't speak that language. And there's no fucking way that I'm going to put a video out putting something like that on any fighter. You know what I mean? Even whether I have relationships with anyone in their circle or not, even if it's someone I have no connection to, I just wouldn't feel comfortable with something like that just because it's too serious. You know, I'm like, if I can't hear him say it in fucking English, who knows if the translation is wrong, whatever. And then 2 to 3 days later, this shit happened. And I was like, whoa, they're the first person I sent it to. Where I was like, did you see that? Now, I'm not saying at all that there are any UFC fighters connected to this at all. I'm definitely not saying that. It was just like the timing was really fucking crazy because apparently, and these, by the way, these are not Dagestani fighters that said it either. It's not Islam. It's not Khabib. Other Muslim guys that were in the video. But anyway, and also, if you guys haven't noticed, I don't talk about Gaza. I don't talk about Israel. I don't talk about any of that stuff because I don't have, my opinion, too many people talking about that. You know, unless your message is simple, peace, cool. Too many people with very strong opinions where like, have you ever lived in either area? No, then I don't feel like you have enough information to be, you know, talking about it very much, unless you're like, I hate dead babies, which everybody should. So I don't talk about these things, and that's why this is just something that happened that I'm reporting on. So like at least so basically yesterday, this group of terrorists like rolled up on their I'm trying to find the name of the group that took credit for it. So where is it? These trying, I know I read this. So like they're blaming it on Islamic State. Okay, so like, yeah, so just the Islamic State claimed it. So some guys just rolled up on churches and synagogues in Dagestan. They killed 20 people. They injured 46 more. They burned the buildings. Predominantly Muslim republic in southern Russia, which neighbors Chechnya. The coordinated attacks targeted the cities of Durban and Makashala, which I thought that this was Khabib and Islam's hometown. I just because I had heard them say it before, but I looked it up and I like it's not where they're from, at least unless I had bad information that I found. But so they opened fire with automatic weapons on an Orthodox church and a synagogue in Durban, which is an ancient Jewish community. 2 gunmen were said to have retreated into a nearby building where police said they were killed. Same time in Makashala, 2 gunmen ran into an Orthodox church, tried to set fire to its main icon, opened fire. The videos on social media showed heavy shooting. That video is gnarly. I know this will get demonetized if I show it, but you guys can look it up on your own. Like this video right here it's like heat, you know, like just straight up automatic weapons shootout. 15 police officers were killed. And at least what I heard reported last night was the priest that was in the church, they trapped him and they slit his throat. Like, and the guy had been a priest at that church for 40 years. Had been a priest there for 40 years, dude. I thought about that. I'm like, so being generous, let's say, I mean, like, you don't see a lot of like 20-year-old priests. So let's say he started when he's 27, that like they took a 66-year-old priest and slit his throat. Like, I don't know, man. I can't understand that. I just can't understand people doing that. I mean, it's like, that's the kind of thing that you do to like someone who kidnapped and took one of your, you know, ended one of your kids, and you find out who they are. That's how you do that. Or at least that's how I would be able to. Like something below that, I just can't imagine doing that to a person. It's just like, especially if it's just like what do you think that guy did to deserve that? You know what I mean? Like what did that priest deserve? Like, what did he do to deserve that? I just don't understand. I mean, it's the same thing as like, I mean, I'm not saying that dropping bombs on babies or kidnapping women is any less evil exactly, but like, that just seems like like, you have guns. Just if you're, it's about killing them, you could just put them down, like sit them down, slit their throat. Like that's like a whole different thing that I don't know, man. These Islamic State guys are evil guys, man. It's just that simple. If you talk to some of the if you ever talk to some of the guys that were deployed over there, like the really like heavy special forces guys, SEAL Team 6 guys, about those you know, some of those people over there, he's like, you just can't you can't understand how barbaric they are. He's like, it's not, it's a completely different world. You know, that's Afghanistan. It's not the same, but I mean, but it is the same, you know? Like he was saying, like I talked to some of the 6 guys that I know about, I think this is, it doesn't matter. But anyway, they were saying that like the people who helped the Americans during the Afghanistan occupation or whatever that, you know, worked for us, right? That we left over there. They were like, I'm like, what's going to happen to those guys? Like, they're going to get killed. He's like, they're like, no, they're not. This is like universal with all of them. They're like, no, they're not going to get killed. They're going to get skinned alive. Literally, they're going to get skinned alive, and they're going to do the same thing to their families. And then they're going to hang them up in their town. I'm like, what? And they're like, 100%, like absolutely 100%. That is exactly what's going to happen to them. It's like, Jesus, man. You know, I don't know. Blanche, thank you very much. I appreciate it, dude, very much. I don't like, I mean, I literally just said, if someone took my kid and ended them, I would turn into some kind of, I don't know, you know, it is possible that some of those guys had exactly that happen, which is what ended up putting them in the position that they're in. That's why I don't talk about this shit usually, because it's like, I just understand, like I know who I am. I know exactly who I am, and I understand people. And so it's not hard for me to put myself in positions in all over these places. And like, I can see a pure environmental chain of events that would put me on either side of these conflicts, just literally just based on where I was born. Complete and total lottery dumb luck. If I'm born here, I grow up with this happening over here. They knock off someone in my family with a bomb or something worse. I would turn into a terrible person. Like, I mean, and the same on the other side. If I was born over there, exactly the same thing. I would, you know what I mean? Capable of anything. But slitting a priest's throat, man, I just can't, like, I can't wrap my brain around that at all. A fucking priest, that's insane. I don't know, dude. It's like, because you know what I mean? Like, even if you have a good, like understanding of the fact that this is environmental, it's like, look, if I was born over there, then whatever. Okay. Well, as soon as they, you know, shoot your kid, that's out the window, dude. It's like, that's just, it's out the window. You're going to turn into a monster. It just sucks, man. It's really sad. But I don't know. That's what happened in Dagestan. It happened last night. I was reading it like, holy shit. And it was like, you know, it was like one of those times I was reading it as the body count was going up. Like when I first read it, it said like 7, and then it was like, never mind, 12. And then so whatever. And now it's like 20 and then 46 hospitalized or whatever. They burned down both buildings, I guess. But yeah, so like attackers detained on the beach. Oh, so they got him. I thought they killed them, or I thought a couple of them got killed and then a couple of them got away. Another thing that was kind of interesting though about the story was that Russia, like the representative from Russia, straight up was like, this is orchestrated by NATO and the United States. I'm like, what? Like the Islamic State literally took credit for it. And they're like, and they said, we understand who's behind the organization of the terrorist attack and what goal they pursued. The head of the Russian State Duma's International Affairs Committee put forward similar claims, saying that Dagestan attacks and a missile strike, which killed 4 in Russia-occupied Sevastopol on Sunday, could not be coincidence. I'm confused by that particular like, what's the word? Like when you, like conclusion. Jesus, man. That seems weird. You know, it's like, I mean, a missile attack, probably us, maybe, but a bunch of guys from the Islamic State shooting up in a church and a synagogue, like that seems pretty on brand for them. You know what I mean? Blanche, thank you very much. I appreciate you, dude. Very, very much. Very generous. Thank you very much. I'm really excited to go home so I can do this in, well, I certainly hope so, Daniel. You are going to be my number one fan forever now in my heart. Appreciate you, dude. All right, so let me move this over to Conor. And actually, let's watch this first, dude. So again, a prerequisite to this is I have run shit from Young and Faded before that ultimately ended up being like translated, not necessarily mistranslated, but because it's in Russian, you don't know when it happened, whether it's legit. And I've like taken videos that they put up as if they were recent, did videos about it, and then it turned out it was from like 2 fucking years ago. But this is Khabib comes back to fight at welterweight after Dana and Trump convince him. It's probably clickbait, but I'm going to watch it anyway, and you guys can watch it with me.
Russian mainstream and social media channels are actively reporting on Khabib's comeback as reportedly Dana White, Donald Trump, and certain Arab sheiks have teamed up to bring the Eagle back to the octagon. According to the most recent reports, all parties are working hard on making the comeback fight happen. Quote, Khabib is getting generous. We could say really generous offers from Arab sheiks who are ready to print out even $1 billion to get Khabib to fight. Khabib's team has confirmed the news, stating that they're receiving very generous offers almost daily from Saudis, who are the biggest fans.
I have no doubt that part's true.
Of Khabib, and they're ready to pay those gigantic sums of money. And Dana White is on their side. Some very influential people in Saudi Arabia are ready to pay $150 million to Khabib for his comeback. In addition to this, recently, Dana White met with Donald Trump in a private gathering with some of his supporters. Regarding the subject, Trump said the following: "This will be a tremendous fight, and we will all be watching."
Where's he getting that from? Let me just say this. It's his life, man. Like, I respect any decision that he makes, but I will just say this. Like, there's an amount of money where I think it would be bordering on unethical not to do it. You know what I mean? Like, because I know how his brain works. Like, there's, like, look at what he invested his money in. He invested his money in like gyms, things that are going to help the community. Okay. Like, there are ways to build your own wealth in a way that simultaneously helps people that you care about, especially if you're from a village in Dagestan or a village anywhere where, like, it's a small community. Like, you can make a huge impact there. And like, to think that, he just got 3 million and whatever seized by the Russian government. Who knows what the hell's behind that? But like, if they want to pay $150 million for you to train for 8-10 weeks, go fight another guy, and you could take that money and put it into your community, that's so much money. I honestly, like, that would be the conversation I would have with him if I was, in his life like that. I'd be like, look, dude, I'm not trying to tell you what to do. Normally, I would be begging you as a fan. But just to frame it in a way that this is really how I see it, is like, there has to be a number that will have such an incredible positive impact on the people that you care about in the community that you live in, that, like, how can you say no? At that point, you're being selfish instead of selfless, I think. But, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I do believe they're offering him $150 million for sure. Those guys are bad pals with some, man. Those guys are trillionaires. The Saudis are the wealthiest people in the world, literally. The wealthiest in the world. They're putting on these shows with these boxers and them. Like, Dana, I put something on my story the other day where Dana was saying that boxing's all fucked up because they've made it to where they can't make any money. There's no consistent business model where they can continue to make money, except now in Saudi Arabia, because they don't care if they lose money. You know what I mean? Like, they don't care. If you guys have never heard about this, they actually did a God, what's it called? Gabrielle, what's it called when you make a thing in a show that represents something that's real? Like no. Like it's like something that never mind. So like in the show The Gentleman that was on Netflix, they had this whole scene where it's like this underground fight, and they have like professionals in it, right? It's like all these gangsters, and like you have to be really high level to be in the room, and it's super secret, and you have like the head, like I think it was like the champion of the world boxer fighting at this thing because these guys paid them so much money, but it's an underground fight. So Conor fought in one of those. And he talked about it on a show. He only mentioned it once, but he said that like when he was taking time off, he did he had a fight with a crowd and everything, and he knocked the guy out that he fought. I think he said it was some like Russian dude, and he never said anything else about it. And at the time I was like, all right, that's like an interesting thing to mention. And then when The Gentleman came out, I'm like, oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Like just the way that he talked about it. And then when I saw that, because it was representative of something real, like if you have enough money, you're telling me that, like, I don't know, Sean Strickland, well, that'd be a bad bet because he'd talk about it. But someone else who can keep their mouth shut, like they normally make $700,000 in UFC, and they're like, hey, we'll pay you $4 million to fight in this underground thing. We'll pay you cash, and it's only going to be high level people that'll know about it. Why would they say no? It's like you spar every day, just spar 100%, get paid $4 million. It's a no brainer, as long as there's no footage, etc. But like, I'm not sure if the gambling house that runs that is going to make money on that one way or the other. But there's an amount of money where you put on, you spend 100 fucking, I don't even know how much money to do the Khabib one. You spend $300 million on a show, you make 100 million back. Like, they don't care. They've gotten fucking money like that. To like lose 200 million, the prestige is worth it, which is so crazy. Like, what else do you do? Like those guys have so much dough, dude. They've flown out. Like, I heard a story about like them offering 10 million to Kim Kardashian. Like, you can fuck one of the Kardashians if you have you know what I mean? Like, you pay them enough money, they're fucking doing it. Everybody's got a number. So if you think about that, right? Kim Kardashian will go fuck one of these guys for $10 million allegedly. And Khabib is like, I know he turned down 40 million for sure. 40 million to fight what he does normally. He's like, nope, principles. Kim Kardashian's like, oh, you want to fuck me for 10 million? Let's go, dude. So allegedly, dude. Allegedly. You guys stop fucking with me about the spider, dude. If that's not real, I don't like it, dude. Where are you? Hang on. Let me see if that's what that is.
Where? It's a sprinkler.
No, it's a sprinkler, dude. It's a sprinkler. They kept I thought one guy was fucking with me, but then they kept saying it. I'm like,
there's a tarantula.
Yeah. Dude, you guys want to hear a funny story about that though? When Gabrielle and I were in the Dominican Republic last year, so we were at Punta Cana. We were in Punta Cana. And like, when you're in the United States, generally speaking, you see a big spider, you know what the dangerous ones look like. It's like, it's not a black widow or a brown recluse. It's usually like a wolf spider or something. You know what I mean? Like, not dangerous. So, in the Dominican Republic, I saw this big ass spider, fucking huge spider, like right on the wall next to our bed. And it was so big that I was like, Gabrielle, you got to come see this, dude. As I'm coming around, I watched it shoot like behind the bed. Oh, you saw it too? So we saw it shoot behind into this like crevice behind the bed. And Gabrielle's like, I'm not sleeping in this room. I was like, dude, it's fine. Like, whatever. So we called the front desk and we're like, hey, so, I just want to put my wife's concerns to rest. We saw really like a pretty big spider, they're not dangerous, right? And they're like, what it looked like. And I described it. And they were like,
basically.
Yeah, and they said an exterminator because it was like there's a straight up fucking arachnophobia spider. So if you're in a foreign country, don't assume that the critters are all safe. Yeah. Do you remember what kind it was? Do you remember, like, did they tell us or were they just say?
They never saw it. Like, just based on our description, they were like, well, you probably don't want to get bit by
Yeah, we
any of the
probably
other spiders here.
probably shouldn't just leave that where it is. We'll just kill it. All right.
Yeah,
What?
they couldn't get it. They sprayed like pesticide behind the bed because the bed was like bolted to the wall.
Yeah, but they sprayed it in a way where it wasn't going to be able to get out without going through it.
I slept like halfway down the bed with my head.
Oh yeah.
Everything tucked under the blankets, like around my head, all of it. I was terrified.
Yeah, that was hilarious. All right, so let's move over to Conor now real quick. I'll show you what he said. So like build muscles and cash. What is this? Versace wife beater. That's probably expensive. What does that say on his chain, dude? Can't read it. Nitro. It's like his energy drink or what? But listen, dude. No offense, Conor. No offense, but would you look at that, dude? Would you look at that? All right, so let's actually look at what this thing with Dustin real quick. So here's all the drama with Conor that I was referencing. First, just him getting into it with people over him pulling out, but then this thing with Dustin is nasty. Dude, I would have done a video about this if I was at home. I saw this and I was like, damn, Ilia Topuria, you are mentally broke. Like Ilia Topuria, of all people to be talking shit to Conor, is pretty funny though. The guy's modeled his career exactly after Conor. He's got a fucking tattoo down his back, identical to Conor's. He's got a chest tattoo. Like you can see, like he's like, I'm going to be Conor McGregor. You know what I mean? Like everything he's doing is based on the Conor model. So I was shocked when I saw this. It's like, you are mentally broken. That is your biggest lesson. You doubt yourself, your abilities, your preparation, and that's why you don't show up. You are a bitch. The black thing on the ceiling is a sprinkler. We just went and looked. Everybody was like,
Do you want a photo?
no, 100. I mean, believe me, if it was a spider, I'd fucking tell you, dude. It's a sprinkler. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I thought this was because like O'Malley is obviously modeling himself after Conor, but O'Malley is like super respectful and clearly like wants to be Conor's buddy. I don't know, dude. If you're not in the same weight class as Conor, I don't really see what's the bonus of like having conflict with him. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I guess if you're trying to sit at the head of all tables, if that's really what your goal is, then you tell everyone, fuck you. That's what Conor did. You know, Conor didn't have any fucking friends in the UFC. He came in just ready to slap his dick across everyone's face. But anyway, I don't know. That Ilia Topuria one surprised me. All right, here you go. So Conor McGregor says Poirier needs to take a DNA test on his daughter. And let's look at like what he's basing this on. It's actually a cool story from Dustin, and Conor's all, oh, well, I guess the kid's not yours. Wait, hang on, I'll answer that since we're looking at Poirier right now. Thank you for the super chat, good sir. If he doesn't fight Conor, should Poirier be done? If he was to fight again, what are your top 3 picks for his next opponents? Taking rankings out of it. So, should he be done is kind of, I don't know. It's just like one of those things where I actually never say that about anyone unless it's like a Tony Ferguson situation, just because I know what an enormous like decision that is for people where it's like the end of their fighting career is enormous. whether they realize it even at first or not, like they've had it in their mind what it'll be like to retire. And if they have some money, it's like, all right, now I'm retired. And they'll find out, I mean, some of them probably have a good understanding, but some of them don't. And when they actually retire, it's going to be very rough on 99% of them. Like they'll go through a depression because they don't have like this thing that has been what they do forever. So I just never like to say, oh, that guy should do this, that, or the other, because it's their life, but like, I don't think he's going to retire anyway. And I definitely, if it was up to me, would not say he should, because I still think he's basically I think he's in his prime still. He has like a million, he has like a million fights, but I don't see him slowing down at all. That's not what I see. I just, he's seems to be getting better as far as I can tell. I mean, dude, Islam Makhachev's the #1 pound for pound guy in the world, and fucking Dustin gave him a run. I mean, I did think Islam was winning the fight before he finished him in the 5th. I'm telling you right now, if Dustin in that moment in the 3rd, when Dustin escaped Islam, when he was on top of him for that, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then he escaped, and then he was yelling in his face, walking him down. If he would have finished that fight right there, that would have been, my opinion, as iconic as, at least close to when Max starched Gaethje. That would have been, I would have lost my mind. It was like meant to be, and then it was just like, Islam's too good, dude. But okay, so who should he fight next? Okay, the way I'm going to answer that is I'm going to take the consideration of who these guys are either scheduled to fight or are probably going to fight next out of it, right? Like, so hypothetically, if I was going to say Max Holloway, obviously the response would be, yeah, but he's going to fight Ilia Topuria most likely. So we're taking that out of it. If just pretend none of these guys have an opponent, I would say Max Holloway, BMF, 100%. Because when Max and Dustin fought the first time, it was a fantastic fight. And Max, it was like super late notice. You guys remember how that happened? It was like, this guy's out, this guy's out, this guy's out, this guy's in, this guy's in, whatever. And it was like the Max and Dustin fight got thrown together so fast. Now Max is a true 55er if he wants to be. He's done that. And like, I mean, Max is a horrendous matchup for certain guys at 55. Dustin is not one of them, though. I think Max is the worst. Like the worst matchup for top guys is, I think, Chandler and Gaethje, who are both super nasty. But just the way, like Max's way of fighting, I predicted that fight for 300, and it happened literally exactly how I said it would. It was like Max is so long and he's so good at sticking straight punches into guys' faces that, like, if the guys who rely on kind of speed and and throwing these looping punches and they're not as long, he's gonna just beat the brakes off those guys. And he did. He showed it with Gaethje, and I think that Chandler has the identical problem. Dustin is very tight and compact. He throws great straight punches. He's a completely different puzzle to solve. And that's a great fucking fight. So if it wasn't Max, I'm trying to think if there, I mean, definitely Conor. Like I would go Max, Conor. I wonder if I don't think he's ever fought at 70, but like, I mean, I know you can't justify an Islam fight, immediately, but just because I'm a fan, I would say Islam because I want to see him run it back again because I love Dustin Poirier. All right, so let's watch this story where Dustin beat the shit out of a bunch of guys, and then Conor said that kids.
One Mardi Gras down in Lafayette, Louisiana, I was at my brother's house, and it was like a street party. Everybody's out on the street, and my wife.
I'm an idiot. You're right. This is correct. Chandler. I don't know what the fuck I was talking about. Not Islam. It's Chandler, Conor, Max for sure. And honestly, like, I don't know if Chandler really loses the Conor fight, which I don't think is going to happen. I think assuming that Conor's toe really is the thing that's happening, they probably already have pushed it back to a specific date and they're just not announcing it. Because like I said earlier, when we were talking about it, I know for an absolute 100% fact that Chandler and Conor knew they were fighting International Fight Week 2 to 3 months before they announced it. So if that is the case now, we wouldn't know. You know, if they've already booked, you know, it's like, okay, we're just pushing it back to this event, then they know, we don't. But Matt, you know, Chandler was on Twitter the other day asking for a BMF fight. So I don't know.
Was leaning over a fence talking to somebody, and then
sorry,
guys from next door came over and like brother's house, and it was like a street party, you know, the whole everybody's out on the street, and my wife was leaning over a fence talking to somebody, and then guys from next door came over and like bent over her back while she was bending over and put his hand on her stomach and like started talking in her ear, and then bro,
you just saw red, huh?
Yeah, I ripped him off. I had a buddy of mine who fights. He started dropping this other guy's people left and right, dude. I mean, dude, 100%. Every shot that landed, 100%. Everybody fell.
100%.
He shot 100% from the field that night. Then I started punching this guy, and then he had a lot more friends than we did. And my brother is not a fighter, so he didn't run. He didn't run out of the house to come fight, but it was just like people were fighting everywhere.
Referee in that.
Yeah, and I ended up getting my back up against a car because they were jumping. I was like, yeah, and I got hit with a bunch of uppercuts. It was crazy, man. Mardi Gras things.
Mardi Gras is fun, though.
Yeah.
So that's the story. Hey, Gabrielle, what do you think I would do if you were leaning on a fence and some dude came over and leaned over you and grabbed you from behind and started whispering in your ear?
I feel like you would not like that.
That's correct. I would throw him over the fucking balcony. Just like I would have done to that homosexual in the Bahamas. If you guys haven't heard that story, that is like, I still want to break that guy's fucking legs.
But he was gay.
We were in the Bahamas at the Four Seasons, and the Four Seasons, it's like I was on a sales incentive trip for my company, and so I was there. There was probably, I don't know, what do you think, like 30 people from my company there again? There's a lot of people there from my company. And we had an event at this like bar restaurant at the hotel. And it was I think it was, let's just call it was at 8. And Gabby and I were like, let's just go early. We'll have some drinks. So we get there at like 7:30 and we're having drinks. And there's this loud kind of like blah, blah guy that acting like he owns the place at the bar. And he fucking Gabrielle's wearing a dress. He slid his hand up her dress. And I can't remember how, like, did you stop? I can't remember how, like,
yeah.
Somehow it like stopped. And I looked at him and I was like, don't do that again.
I mean, I pulled my leg away.
Yeah. And I was like, do not touch her again. Obviously I knew if I fucking light this guy up at this bar, 100% I'm fired. Like without a doubt, I would have lost my job. And, you know, like, oh, listen, guys, he grabbed my wife's leg. Any other situation, that dude's teeth are in his fucking throat. Best case scenario for him. But he's like, I'm gay. I'm gay. It's his fucking move, dude. Like antagonize guys, like, you know, grab their girl and be like, what? I'm gay, dude. He was the biggest cocksucker ever. I still want to fucking break that guy's face. He is very lucky that the circumstances were what they were, because there is absolutely no question. Any other scenario, I would have fucking shattered that guy's face for sure. Absolutely 100%, no question. Slide your hand up my wife's dress right in front of me. You're going to fucking get punched in your fucking face. That was 5 years ago. And every time I think about it, I'm like, I would fucking kill that guy, dude. I shouldn't have. I couldn't afford to lose that job then, dude. That was right before the pandemic. I hadn't even started this channel yet. Then this was that was 2 months before I started the channel. That's exactly when that was. It was 2 months before I even started doing Jesse on Fire. We needed the money. I couldn't afford to lose the job. All right. Yeah. So that's Conor's take. After that story, do a DNA test, lad. The Maury Show, Dustin Poirier, the Never Been, Who is the father? Father's Day is for fathers only. Bitch ass in the DM, sending messages. Whatever that last one is. Okay. So I don't know when he put this up, but I'm just going to say that's an awful lot of fucking hashtags for Conor. You know, I am convinced that you either have Conor has like multiple personality disorder, schizophrenia, or he has someone else that works his Twitter who is like allowed to talk shit any way that they want. Because listen, dude, Conor talks a lot of shit. Can you imagine him fucking doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fucking hashtags? Right? Like, does that seem fucking weird to you guys? 7 fucking hashtags? Oh, nudes is the last word. Yeah, that's right. Hashtags. That's weird, man. That's weird. To me, anyway. Oh, this guy doesn't have any friends. That guy at the bar has no friends. And like I said, dude, I couldn't lose a job, dude. There's no way. I had 3 kids. Couldn't lose a job. He didn't touch her again. I'll fucking tell you that right now. He looked like, I think he had fucking pulled that move about 150,000 times in his life. And I'm pretty sure he got the message and he looked in my eyes like, oh, this guy. Yeah, his face turned white. He's like, and he's like, I'm gay. He's like, oh, this guy actually will fucking hurt me. He's like, you'd already be hurt if we were anywhere else. Yeah, like the thing about going to jail in the Bahamas literally didn't even cross my mind, which is highly likely. It was the job. Like I was like, there was already people from my company there, like straggling in, only a few, but it was like, anyway, God, dude, in hindsight, it's been like, if that would have happened when I had already started succeeding on YouTube and I was kind of on the fence about whether I was going to stay doing tech or not, wouldn't that be like the best way that I quit? You know, like, it's like, I'm like, well, I've been on the fence about keeping this job anyway. So this seems like a good way to make my exit is I'm going to break this guy's fucking face.
Oh shoot, we gotta go in a couple minutes.
Oh yeah. That's exactly right. You have to. I honestly think it's like I don't think there are many ways that a person can earn getting hurt by a person better than trying to slide their hand up the dress to grab your wife's vagina right in front of the fucking dude. So there's no one who's ever earned earned it more than that guy. But
I've had several gay dudes do that to me throughout my life.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
But like, I have a wife and kids, man. I would consider a person I would have considered in the exact same situation, someone wired just like me, exact same situation. If they lit that guy up in front of their company, I would have considered that person weaker, not stronger, that they couldn't control it. You know, it's like, dude, you can't lose that job. Like, you can't. You're responsible for your wife. You're responsible for your kids.
Yeah,
like
CEO of your company.
CEO of my company is going to be there in 2 minutes. And again, he got the only warning he was going to get. You know what I mean? It was like, and he
did the right thing.
He got the fucking message. You know what I mean? But still, it's like the priorities are, like, protect your wife and children is why that guy normally gets his ass kicked. But if I kick his ass, then how am I protecting my wife and kid if I can't fucking take care of our bills? You know what I mean? Yeah, yes, it is. Very brazen. I'm gay. That would have not been an acceptable excuse in any other situation. Guaranteed. You really think that? You think it was the Americans or NATO that did the attack? What would the purpose of that be? Why would they go attack a synagogue and a church? I don't, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I've never even heard of I've never heard of that happening before to anybody. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have no idea. It's so bizarre. It's like, that's not the kind of thing that generally happens in my life. You know what I mean? Like, that's, unless you have absolutely no ability to judge the room, it's like, if I do this to this guy's wife, he's for sure going to hurt me. But that guy was a cocksucker. Anyway, stir up more shit. I mean, maybe. I don't know. All right. I got to run. We got a dinner in 5 minutes. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out. I will be back in the saddle for good on Wednesday. Well, not for good, for 3 weeks on Wednesday. And I'm going to crank a lot of content when I get back, obviously. I appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Peace.